It is 2 p.m. in Barbados. That means it's 1 p.m. in Jamaica and 12 noon in Belize. Good afternoon and welcome to this Facebook Live session, Let's Talk Access, a social media program produced and presented by the UWI Open Campus. I am your host for today, Cleveland Sam. Thank you for joining us wherever in the world you are this afternoon. What are we talking about today? Today, we are talking about tourism and specifically the Bachelor of Science in Tourism and Hospitality Management program offered by the UWI Open Campus. And I have two very special guests today. They are program manager in the academic programming and delivery division, Mrs. Violet Wellington Finley, and a past student, instructor, PhD candidate, Mr. Shemroy Roberts. Shemroy and Violet, welcome to Let's Talk Access. Good afternoon, Shemroy and Violet.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Cleveland. Good afternoon, Violet. Thank you for having me.
All right. So Violet, let's start with you. You're the program manager for the BSc Tourism and Hospitality Management. Tourism, from my brief research, is exceeds $1.8 billion as a industry and employs millions of people across the world. Why does the Open Campus in the Caribbean has a program in tourism and hospitality management, Violet?
Well, the program was introduced to respond to that need to have persons certified in this particular area, since it's an area that employs so many of our people in the region.
Right. And as the program manager, why is it important for Caribbean people to be studying tourism?
Well, this, as you mentioned, so many persons are involved in the field, and it does so much in terms of boosting our economy. Therefore, it should be an area that persons would choose to invest in and be interested in overall.
All right. As I said, we have a past student, Mr. Shemroy Roberts. Shemroy, why did you decide to study tourism?
Hi, Cleveland, and good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for the question. I decided to study tourism and hospitality management for the main reason that we have a wealth of resources in the Caribbean region that is underutilized and that we can develop and market for tourism purposes. And I really wanted to make a contribution and an impact to the tourism and hospitality sectors throughout the region, especially my home country, St. Vincent.
All right. Let me just read something to you guys before I go on. The travel and tourism industry is one of the world's largest industries with a global economic contribution, direct, indirect, and induced, of over $7.6 trillion in 2016. The direct economic impact of the industry, including accommodation, transportation, entertainment, and attraction, was approximately $2.3 trillion in 2016. Now, there is a lot of money to be made in the tourism industry, both Shemroy and Violet. Shemroy, as someone who is studying this, you're now doing your doctorate, I am told, in this field. Are you looking to make some of this trillions and billions of dollars?
Absolutely, Cleveland. Absolutely. I just want to correct that figure that you just mentioned a while ago. Actually, the tourism sector generates over 30-something billion dollars for the Caribbean region. Over 30-something billion. for the entire Caribbean region. And
Awesome
it's
stuff.
important, yes, it is important that we focus on this specific area and that students are certified and that they develop and they are equipped with the skills to manage the tourism sector, because we need the people. We need the people to manage the resources and to take the tourism sector forward. As a PhD student and working in academia, I'm also an associate lecturer here at the University in Edinburgh, Scotland. And as a course instructor, you do earn a lot, as a tourism specialist. So obviously you do generate and you make a lot of money working in the field of tourism and hospitality. So
all right,
don't think about that, yes, I'm working in the accommodation sector or I'm working in the food and beverage sector, that I'm not making enough. It depends on the type of job that you seek and that you're employed in. So you can obviously make decent wages.
All right, so we're going to come back to that later in the program, but I'm really happy that you have raised that issue, because one of the things that our viewers always want to know is, what type of living can I make from these particular careers when I come to the open campus or any UWI campus and we do a program of this nature. Let me get back to Violet and let's talk a bit about our BSc program in Tourism and Hospitality Management. First of all, what is the structure of the program, Violet? How is it structured?
The program consists of 30 courses. 28 of these courses carry 3 credits each, and there is also a 6-credit course that is completed in the final year of the program. This 6-credit course is a research practicum course, and it's completed over 2 semesters. Part 1 is completed in semester 1, and part 2 is completed in semester 2 of the same academic year. At the end of the program, students would complete a total of 90 credits.
All right, and in terms of duration, what length of time it takes for someone to complete this bachelor's degree?
It varies. Students progress through the program based on how many courses they pursue in a given semester. If students are employed, we recommend that they pursue 3 courses in semesters 1 and 2 and 2 courses during the summer. If they follow that particular recommendation, then they will be able to complete the program within 4 years. If students are unemployed, then they can take on additional courses. Unemployed students, we would recommend that they take 5 courses in semesters 1 and 2 and 3 courses during the summer. So they can actually finish that program within 3 years.
Awesome, so it's really flexible.
Yes, it is.
All right, and Shamroy, as a graduate of this program, how did you find the program in terms of managing the course load?
Hi, Cleveland. Yes, that the program for me was a positive one. The experience was positive and rewarding. I did not experience a lot of challenges. It was easy to manage. I manage my time wisely, and I always have a calendar. I mark key dates for my assignments, and I ensure that I get my work done and submit my assignments on time. I do know, of course, that some students experience time management skills and finding that right balance in terms of managing their work life, the personal life, and also with their studies. And also, of course, they have the demands of the family and their friends.
How did you manage? Did you do 2 courses per semester, 3 courses? How much load did you carry?
Cleveland, interesting question, because sometimes I would do 6 and 5 courses and I managed pretty well because I did get some pretty good grades.
Okay, so Violet, he was an unemployed student.
No, actually, Cleveland, I was employed. I was fortunate enough to be employed in the accommodation sector and also studying at the same time.
So you were getting the real life experience, applying the knowledge that you were learning at the open campus at the time.
Precisely.
All right, we're really happy to have you here to share with us as someone who has experienced this program. And so we are talking about the structure. You told us about the duration. It can be between 3 to 5 years. Entry requirements, Violet. What are the entry requirements for this BSc Tourism Hospitality?
The minimum requirements is 5 CSEC subjects or 5 GCE O levels.
And that's it? No
That's
experience?
The minimum requirement.
Right. So if a student has, for example, Cape Tourism, or, I mean, do they get any credits or any exemptions or anything like that?
I can't speak to that with certainty.
Okay.
That, exemptions are typically handled by student support and services. So if the student thinks they are eligible for exemptions, then they would have to make that application.
Sure.
Yes.
Right, and we also have another entrance consideration. This is called prior learning assessment. Can you speak to us about that briefly?
Yes, I can. If students do not meet the normal minimum requirements of 5 CSECs or 5 O levels, then prior learning assessment is available. We have a prior learning unit that is responsible for getting those persons, as you would say, prepared to enter the BSc. For example, let us use this program as an example. If students have 1 CSEC or 2 CSEC and they have been working in the tourism and hospitality management, they can actually use their experience and whatever on-the-job training they have received to leverage their qualifications. So when they apply for the program, and you can actually apply for prior learning just like any other program. So when you apply, then the relevant persons from the prior learning unit would engage the student. They would go through the process. They are required to complete a portfolio and other related prior learning activities. At the end of that, when they have completed that, then they would have made the matriculation requirements to enter the BSc program.
All right, so prior learning assessment is also available. And if you have your 5 CSEC subjects or 5 O levels, then you also can matriculate into this program. All right, and we have obviously an application period. What is the application period we're looking at for students who are interested in entering in September?
Applications are currently underway. Applications opened on January 25th, and it will close on July 16, 2021.
All right, so they have until July 16. But obviously we want to encourage them to apply like now so that they can submit the documentation and that type of thing.
Yes, certainly.
All right, Shamoy, how did you find the application process when you did this program?
Hi, Cleveland. It was easy, not a challenge. All the information is provided to you at your disposal. And yeah, that's basically it. It's easy. It's an easy process.
What about the submission of your documentation? Because you were based in St. Vincent, from what you said. How did you submit your records, your certificates, and so on that were required?
To be honest, Cleveland, I can't remember. That's like so long ago. um, but I can tell you though, Cleveland, that I got a response soon, like fast, like within 2-3 days, I got a response from the university to say that, I was accepted to the university.
All right, all right. So the application process is smooth, and just to reiterate, everything is 100% online, Violet.
Yes, everything is 100% online.
Right, so that's interesting. So let's talk now about assessment. How are students assessed for this bachelor's program?
Courses in the program are assessed by 100% coursework and a combination of coursework and face-to-face final exams. However, due to the spread of COVID-19, we have removed the face-to-face final exams. So at the moment, all courses in this program are assessed by 100% coursework.
Right, and can you elaborate for us on what sort of format the assessment takes?
It varies. It can be, you can have case studies, group assignments, you may have live presentations, discussions, quizzes, etc.
All right, so I know exams is always something for students. Shemoy, do you remember the days of taking this course and the assessment deadlines, the what? Tell us about your excellent experience of taking these tests and assignment deadlines.
Interesting question, Cleveland. As I said earlier, I undertook several courses, sometimes 4, 5, 6 courses. It's not recommended that you do 4, 5, 6 courses at the same time. You're recommended to do only 3 courses and 2 in the summer. But if you think you can manage, go ahead, reach out to your program manager and see if you can do those courses. However, having to work and to do all 4 or 5 courses at the same time and have exams, it was difficult, because I had to stay up at nights to study for my exams, prepare, and back to back, especially I will have 2 exams the same day and then another 2 the next day. So it was a bit challenging for me, but I did manage. I survived.
You certainly did, because you're now a doctoral student. So you must have been a pretty good student at the open campus initially as well. And with the face-to-face exams, I know we are in COVID times, but with the face-to-face exams, you would have, where would you have taken those exams, Shemoy?
Well, it would be at the local UB Open Campus site or at the Girl Guides headquarters in St. Vincent.
Right. And Violet, just for persons who are viewing who may not be familiar with the UB or our setup, we do have open campus country site in each territory who support the students, yes?
Yes, we do. Several sites
Go ahead.
across the different countries.
What role do they play in the assessment process in terms of assisting with exams and so on?
Well, they would prepare the space naturally, ensure that everything is set up and in place for actual exams to take place. They would ensure that the timetable, etc., is posted ahead of time, because students would have to come to the site to actually view the timetable, etc. So they made the arrangement for the actual physical setup for the exams.
Right. One of the other great advantage of the open campus with the presence in the site. Shamar, how important and how supportive would you say the site in St. Vincent was with your experience?
They are very supportive, Cleveland. Deborah, everyone there at the open campus site. Yeah, they're a very supportive set of people.
All right. Of course, the other thing we want to look at is the cost of the program. Violet, can you give us an idea of the cost of the BSc in Tourism and Hospitality Management?
The cost for the program is calculated based on the number of credits in the program. This program has a total of 90 credits, and each 3-credit course costs $360.
All right, so the candidates just need to do some math
Yes.
to work out what the total cost is. But first of all, I mean, full declaration as the marketing manager for the campus, the programs are cost effective. In addition to that, and Shamroy, you can speak to this if you benefited from this, the campus does offer payment plans. Are you familiar with payment plans?
I do not have children, Cleveland, but they do have bursaries and scholarships available as well that students can take up. They can apply,
Right.
and that can help you to pursue your degree in tourism and hospitality management. So those are other options as well.
Right. Right. So of course, there are bursaries, scholarships, and I was making the point that there's a payment plan where you can actually divide the tuition every semester per month. You pay a deposit, I think it's 1/3, and you pay the other 2/3 over the period of the semester to make the costs affordable to you. Yes, payment plans are also available for this program, Violet, yes?
Yes, payment plans are available.
All right. And as Shamroy said, there are some scholarships and bursaries that are also available. All right, so we have looked at most of the issues related to the program itself. And as the program manager, Violet, how would you say this program has been going in terms of its subscription every year, every semester it's been offered?
Well, the subscription is not as, in recent years, to be honest, it has fallen a bit, hence why we are here to promote our very good program. In recent years, it has fallen a bit, but it continues to be one of our best programs. And as I said before, that is why we're here to promote it.
All right. Okay, so one of the other areas we're going to look at now has to do with careers, professions that persons can go into having done a BSc in Hotel and Hospitality Management. Who is this program for, Violet?
This program is for anyone who is currently working in the field or anyone who is interested in tourism and hospitality management.
All right, and what are some of the career paths that persons can pursue having completed this program?
There are quite a number of opportunities, employment opportunities for persons who complete this program. There are senior level management professions. There are also, and when we think about tourism and hospitality management, we should not just think of it in terms of working in hotels, because tourism is such a wide area. We can think of persons also working in our ministries, working possibly in other areas of entertainment, even in the airline and cruise ship, that sort of thing. So it's really, it opens up a wide field for employment after you have completed the program.
Right. Shamroy, you were in the tourism industry when you started this program, yes?
Yes, yes, Cleveland.
Right. Can you tell us from where you are? I mean, and you have continued to study in this area. So obviously to you, this is a path that you have seen potential. What are some of the areas you would tell young persons like yourself who are interested in pursuing this program? What are some of the careers? What can they look forward to?
Before I answer that, Cleveland, I just want to add to what Violet just said a while ago. There's this perception that the only jobs that exist within the tourism and hospitality sector is working on a cruise ship, being a tour guide, working in a hotel or resort or a food and beverage restaurant manager or something of that sort. The tourism sector is bigger than that. There are more opportunities with a degree in tourism and hospitality management. You can be a consultant, you can shape and inform policies, you can be a government worker, you can work in NGOs, you can also be managers of cultural heritage visitor attractions. And I spoke to you about the Edinburgh Dungeon here and dark tourism sites as well, and how we can manage cultural resources. You can also be a manager of festivals and events. You can also go into sales and marketing, where you can contribute to DMO strategies, destination marketing organizations, for those who do not know, and find creative and innovative ways in which you can market the destination. Right, so there are endless opportunities with a degree in tourism and hospitality management. You don't have to necessarily go into the accommodation sector or the food and beverage sector. You can also go into academia. You could be an academic, you could be a lecturer, you could be a teacher. So we need you in the Caribbean, and we need you to enroll in the program, because someone has to transform the tourism sector in the Caribbean region and take it forward. So I would encourage persons to sign up, get on board, submit your application, and so that we can move the tourism sector forward in the region.
Violet, I see you shaking your head. Do you have anything to add to it, Shemroy?
I'm just agreeing. I'm agreeing with him.
Cleveland, I would like to also add that there's this gender bias and stereotyping in the tourism sector and the hospitality sector as well. You know that if you study tourism and hospitality, that is a woman's job. You know, right. I will tell you what, I am a male and I have pursued a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and now a PhD in tourism. And I can tell you what also, that we have a minister of tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines who is a male, and the former minister of tourism was also a male. So we need to empower males in the tourism and hospitality sector. Get on board, sign up for the program. We need you.
We definitely need persons in the region to manage the tourism sector. In fact, one report I heard yesterday was the fact that in the region, we still recruit a lot of our senior tourism professionals from abroad. I mean, in 2021, this is shocking, with programs such as the ones offered by the UWI Open Campus and other university faculty, campuses across the region. You know, as you said, Shemroy, there's no reason why we should be importing that type of labor when we have persons who are being trained here. But as you said, maybe in the past there was some certain stereotypes and taboos attached, but now we have the programs and we have people like yourself and others who are graduating from this program. We hope that that situation will in fact change. Shemroy, let's continue on the issue of careers, because I know you're very passionate about this, and I know it is also important in terms of emphasizing the value of the program to our audience. One of the areas that I believe that in the Caribbean we have not focused on a lot is parks and recreation. That we have so many interesting sites that we have not really developed these sites into parks. We have not gone into the whole issue of using these sites and developing other sites as recreational facilities, recreational sites where families and other persons, health tourism as well. I mean, we have so many rivers and mountains and clean air and beautiful weather 24 hours a day, 12 months a year in the region. why are we not moving forward in those directions as a student of tourism studies?
Thank you for that, Cleveland. Now we are having a discussion. Um, so, before, and I said this earlier in the conversation, that the Caribbean has a wealth of resources that are underutilized and are not developed and marketed for tourism purposes. And before I undertook studies in the tourism and hospitality management, I had a narrow perspective of the tourism and hospitality sectors. And the BSc in tourism and hospitality management was an eye-opener to me. It exposed me to various forms of tourism, such as sports tourism, cultural heritage tourism, community-based tourism, sustainable tourism, and others. And the program taught me theoretical concepts and how to manage those specific forms of tourism. I can tell you, during my undergrad program, I wrote a paper on the heritage of the Garifuna people and how we can manage and market such heritage for tourism purposes. And that motivated me to explore further the area of cultural heritage tourism. And I wrote a paper on the importance of cultural heritage tourism on the Caribbean small island developing states economies. And my research highlighted there are many issues and challenges that we face in the tourism and hospitality sectors. And as you rightfully said, we don't tap into those areas. We don't market those specific areas such as health tourism, cultural heritage tourism, sports tourism, sustainable tourism, etc. And what I found, those issues may include like redundancy of strategies. We continue to use the same strategy over and over. And today they had a webinar. They had a webinar about post-COVID recovery strategies. And one of the strategy is to focus on domestic tourism. And the question that I had to ask was, why now? Why now that we are focusing on domestic tourism? Simply because we do not do any research. We don't solicit feedback from visitors, etc. And there's so much potential in the Caribbean region. We can tap into community-based tourism. How about having someone come into your home and stay with you just to get that experience? Caribbean life, how is it to live in a Caribbean household? What it is like to prepare a meal or do the dishes or do the laundry. You know, that also is part of tourism. It's also part of the visitor experience. And those are markets that we should tap into. And as you rightfully said, Cleveland, we don't do anything or promote anything around children and family. And that is something that we should tap into as well. We need a lot of more attractions and events and experiences around children and family. And also we need to look at dark tourism as well in the Caribbean region, something that I'm researching.
Right, dark tourism. I'm gonna come to you with dark tourism in a minute. But Violet, based on Shemroy's points just now, do you think that our program is meeting these needs?
I think so. In large part, the program is meeting the needs.
I am your evidence, Violet.
Exactly.
There you go.
And it does, the program, because of the way it's set up, it does drive the passion. So if students are interested, if they are genuinely interested in tourism and hospitality, the program further drives that passion home.
All right. We have a question from Facebook that I want to bring in at this point, from someone by the name of London Sky. Should I be nervous applying for the tourism degree with the current status of the industry in the region? Meaning COVID.
Yes,
Violet?
absolutely. Sorry.
Go ahead, Sharon.
I mean, absolutely. People do travel. People will travel. People are still traveling. So go for it. Sign up for the program.
Violet?
Yes, I'm in agreement. We have to consider that it will, if a student enters our program now, when I say now, in September, it will take at least 3 years for them to complete the program. By then, we would have fully rebounded from COVID. And based on what I'm seeing, many countries have found innovative ways to keep afloat, to stay afloat.
Right.
Many countries, they have opened up to, the hotels have opened up to locals, and many locals are now able to stay in a 4-star, 5-star hotel. So they continue to remain open, and the industry will rebound.
Just to add to that as well, Cleveland and Violet, you know, the tourism is not only about the physical place or physical destination. You know, it can be online as well. So developing a virtual museum or something, that too can contribute to tourism. So you can stay in the comfort of your homes and participate in that experience and learning more about that destination and what it has to offer. So definitely sign up for the program. We need you on board. Get on board.
Great. I'm going to take you up on that point in a minute, Samoy. But I think what the person was also, the second question to their first was, can I only work in a hotel? Of course, you have debunked that a long time ago from the start of the program.
You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Yeah, you can be an entrepreneur as well. You can start your own business.
Right. So I want to first go to your second point about the whole issue of the virtual reality tourism and using that. As you know, the Open Campus is getting into a virtual reality and augmented reality project in the coming weeks. In fact, the MOU has been signed with Ian Reality. And I was actually saying to some friends last week in a chat that I think this is probably the next frontier in terms of tourism, is that I would be able to sit in the comfort of my living room and hike the Great Wall of China. Is this the next frontier for tourism, even COVID or no COVID?
It's already here, Cleveland. It's already here. It's just not in the Caribbean region, sadly, you know. And that is what I said earlier in terms of not doing research. Because if we had done our research, we would know that these things already existed. So it's something that we should tap into, we should look into, we should explore further in the Caribbean region. And we generate a lot of money as well from presenting and marketing our destinations online, whether it's a museum or a specific attraction that you want to market online. We do generate money as well from that. So though we are not generating money during the pandemic, we can generate money through virtual reality, virtual museum, virtual spaces.
Awesome stuff. Violet? We're not hearing you. All right. Yeah, I think we have a slight issue with Violet's audio, but we have a question from our YouTube viewers. And he said, based on the fragile nature of the tourism industry, will UWI restructure the course to address challenges such as COVID-19 pandemic and so on, and how people in the hospitality industry can manage shocks? Violet, as a program managers, do you see us including issues such as this in revisions to the syllabus in the future?
Are you hearing me?
We're hearing you now, yes, go ahead.
Yes. Well, when next the revision of the program takes place, those things will likely to be considered. In terms of, as I've indicated before, we have made adjustments in terms of how we assess our courses. So courses, we have removed final exams, and even as it relates to the practicum courses, we have made adjustments so that students can still do what they need to do for practicum. So we have made adjustments where necessary, and as the program is reviewed, other adjustments may be made.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And two other comments. Angel Spice says, I am happy to be part of the BSc Tourism program, learn a lot from the symposium. And Mr. London Sky says, we have to diversify our product offerings. Shamron, I'm going to leave that with you.
Definitely, we need to do that. If you look at the promotional marketing tools or strategies by some of the DMOs throughout the Caribbean region for post-COVID, they all promote the same thing. And this is why I mentioned before redundancy of strategies. There's lack of creativity and innovation. So most of the videos, the promotional material, they focus on sun, sands, and sea, and that's it. And nothing else. We need to know more about the destination. That is what research is saying. That is what visitors would like to know more. They would like to know more about the destination. They would like to know more about people. And so that is what we need to include also in our promotional marketing strategies.
All right, thank you so much. So you mentioned to us earlier a concept called dark tourism. I'm not sure how many Caribbean people are familiar with dark tourism. I want you to talk to us a little bit about what is the concept of dark tourism? What does it involve?
So dark tourism is the travel to places associated with death and suffering. And that is a lot throughout the Caribbean region as well. For example, slavery, and my doctoral research focuses on slavery heritage tourism. And that is something that I look forward to developing in the Caribbean region, especially in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Again, I've introduced this to my students last week. I introduced them to the concept of dark heritage visitor attractions. They're light dark visitor attractions and they're dark visitor attractions. I've also thinking about introducing students to the circular economy next year and also gastronomy through heritage in tourism. So there are many concepts and many developments throughout tourism research that I would like to share with the students, hopefully pretty soon.
Right. As a Caribbean national, specifically from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, what are some areas of dark tourism you think we can develop? You said it deals with death and suffering. Certainly, this region has had its full share of death and suffering over the centuries.
A lot, Cleveland. And this is an interesting point I had to share with my students on Sunday. The cemeteries that we go to is also considered to be part of dark tourism. It's referred to as cemetery tourism. We go to cemeteries, we don't see ourselves as dark tourists. And that is one thing that we are not aware of. So people go to cemeteries to look at the design of tombstones or how people grieve and celebrate the life of a loved one. We also have the Black Point Tunnel in St. Vincent, and we also have Fort Charlotte. These are also part of dark tourism attractions, and the cemeteries, again, as I said, that we can develop and transform into attractions.
Dark tourism, all right. Violet, you think you would introduce that in your syllabus in another couple of years?
Well, as I said before, Cleveland, as we take whatever changes come into consideration, we will, when the program has been, or when the program is going to be revised, then all of these new elements may be included.
And I would tell you that you have support from Angela Greenaway, who says, very good program, guys. I am a facilitator for the BSc Tourism and Hospitality Management, and we do incorporate the current issues in our discussion session, even though it may not be in the text as yet. So there you go. We do keep the actual delivery of the course up to date, even though the topic may not be in the current curriculum. So good stuff. All right, so believe it or not,
sorry, just to add to that, Cleveland, you know, that remember we are selling an experience, and the experience is not only going to the beach or the sunshine. You know, it's more to that when you visit a destination. That's what I
Certainly.
wanted to say.
Awesome. All right, believe it or not, we only have 15 minutes left. Violet, remember our discussion yesterday? We only have 15 minutes to go. And I want us to touch on the very important topic of income, salaries, wages, and the type of living that someone who enters the tourism sector can expect to earn. As I said to you guys in a previous conversation, one of the things Caribbean people do not like talking about is money and what they earn. But I did some research about 20 years ago with young Caribbean males. They were secondary school students. And they indicated that one of the reasons they were not interested in cricket as careers is that they were not aware of the salaries that our cricketers were making. However, they could tell me what Michael Jordan was making, what other NBA basketballers were making, what the footballers in Europe and specifically in the UK were making. So I think we need to be able to talk about the value of these careers, and part of that has to be what type of living, what type of lifestyle can persons in the tourism sector expect to have. I'm going to open the floor to you guys in terms of, I mean, where are we in terms of the salaries and wages and benefits that persons can look forward to in this industry? Who want to go first?
Well,
all right, Violet, go ahead.
I can't speak to any specific wage per se, but I do know that persons can make a good living from working in various aspects of tourism and hospitality management.
Okay, Shamoy?
Yeah, something Cleveland, it varies according to country and the type of job that you do as well and your employers. So yeah, people within the tourism and hospitality sectors do earn a decent salary.
All right, before I go to, I did some research on this as well, and CaribbeanJobs.com actually had a listing that they obtained from a third party. I'm going to read out some of the things there for you. But before I go to that, I want to go back to our YouTube site, because we want to keep your questions and comments coming to us. We really want to hear from you on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Someone says, dark tourism. Interesting concept. Is the first time I'm hearing of this concept. So thank you very much, Shamroy, for bringing this to the fore. Dark tourism is an interesting concept. Ground Zero, meaning New York, has been a big tourist attraction, I guess, since 9/11. So there you go.
Yeah, and there are other sub-forms of dark tourism, Cleveland. There's disaster tourism, especially hurricanes and so on, as well, form part of dark tourism. You also have cemetery tourism, you have Holocaust tourism, you have battlefield tourism, you have war tourism, you have slave heritage tourism, you have suicide tourism as well. Doesn't sound pleasing, but that is also part of dark tourism to Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a market for all of these things, yes?
Yes, the Cleveland, I'm just thinking about an article I read recently. Dark tourism, it's really taken off in China. And there is this particular park where persons tend to go and commit suicide. And many, many persons visit that.
Okay, as I said, this region has had its fair share of death and disasters and mayhem. So I'm sure we do have quite a number of possible potential sites that can be developed for dark tourism. So as I said, I went on a website yesterday and I found some salary information. I know my guests are a little hesitant to give specifics, but as I said, I have very good grounds as to why I think this is important, because this is part of the value of selling this program. So what I recognize from this particular list is, and of course this relates to the hotel sector specifically, and what they have done, well, what they have said is that you get paid according to the size and type of the hotel facility. So if you are, let's say, between 100 and 200 rooms, the pay is X, and I'm going to read some of them. And if you're between 200 and 400, it's Y. And if you're over 400, then it's, you know, W and so on. And it depends if it's a 5-star, if it's a 5-diamond and stuff like that. So I'm going to read from the top down. And you guys who have been in this thing can tell me how close we are to the region or Barbados or St. Vincent or Jamaica. So a general manager for an all-inclusive facility, and Violet, Jamaica is the all-inclusive capital of the world. So for the smaller hotels, you're talking about $79,000 per year. The medium-sized hotels about $82,000 per year, and the larger hotels about $91,000 per year. For the deluxe full-size resorts, you're talking about between $80,000 and $93,000 per year as a general manager. For an executive assistant manager, between $48,000 to $56,000 per year. They move down to divisions such as room division managers. You're looking at between $39,000 to $48,000 per year. Executive housekeeper, I guess this is the person who ensures that the house is kept well and the rooms and everything kept well, so that when you check in Chevron to your 5-star hotel, it's all clean and the linen and everything is in order. They make about $39,000 to $50,000 per year. Food and beverage directors, they make between $48,000 to $61,000 per year. Catering manager, they make about $32,000 to $38,000 per year. Executive chef, this is something I would love to be in another life. They make between $46,000 and $62,000 per year. A pastry chef, about $36,000 to $48,000 per year. Sales and marketing manager, $48,000 to $70,000 per year. Revenue manager, between $36,000 and $43,000. And I know, Violet, you spoke about this, entertainment directors and managers. They make between $34,000 and $44,000 per year. And the health and spa club managers, they make between $30,000 and $36,000 per year. Guys, quite a range, but you know, these are decent salaries.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree.
So there is a very decent living to be made from careers in the tourism industry.
Of course, Cleveland, there's a lot of money to be made in the tourism sector, tourism and hospitality sector. Again, it all depends on where you go and the type of career as well. You do make a decent living in tourism and hospitality.
Right, and the careers obviously that I mentioned, these are working at a hotel, but as you said, I mean, the taxi men, the tour operators, if you have a small or large or medium tour company, if you convert some piece of land into some sort of park or recreation facility, you know, entrepreneurship is another thing that we are pushing here at the Open Campus and at the UWI, and innovation. So we also want our students to look at the ways in which they can create, not just to work with, but create their own industries, create their own attractions, and become entrepreneurs and leaders in their respective spaces. All right? All right, so Angela Greenaway spoke about the volcano tourism in Montserrat. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I've been there to see that, and it's a sight to behold, I tell you. Yeah, I have another comment here. All right. Someone is asking, and I'm going to direct this to you, Violet, and probably to you, Shamroy, as a Caribbean person studying in the UK. Can a BSc Tourism and Hospitality Management degree in the Caribbean be useful when working outside of the region? I think that's an excellent question for us to end on. I would let you go first, Violet.
Yes, certainly. This BSc is comparable to any other hospitality and management program in other universities. So yes, it can take you to other, it's useful, and it can take you to anywhere, any other country outside of the Caribbean.
And Shamroy, your evidence of that.
Exactly, Cleveland. But I just want to add to what Violet just said. Remember, the UE Open Campus, the University of the West Indies, in the top 5%. The degree is accredited as well. So definitely you'll be recognized outside of the Caribbean region.
All right, we have one question, someone who just joined, but would there be an opportunity for discussion of the yachting tourism in this course? Does the course lend for that, Violet?
There is a possibility for the inclusion of that, even though it's not something that is typically in the content, so to speak, because the course coordinator, the person that leads the course, can introduce some amount of new content. Then that could be included as well.
Shamroy, as of Vincentian, yachting is a huge deal, particularly in the Grenadines. This is something you would like to see as Caribbean students studying hospitality and tourism.
It is interesting, Cleveland, but also I find that we put a lot of emphasis on yachting tourism in St. Vincent and by extension the Caribbean region. There are other areas that need to be looked into and developed as well. So we can't just put all our eggs in one basket. We just need to look at other areas as well, not only just yachting tourism. And then you also have to look at the negative impacts of yachting tourism and cruise tourism as well on these destinations. We need to think of the environment as well when we think of tourism.
All right. Well, we only have 3 minutes remaining, and I mean, that's a very interesting point you raised for another program. Maybe when we're dealing with the sustainability of tourism, we can address those issues that you just raised, Chairman. I'm just going to give each of you 1 minute to wrap up. Your final words, Violet.
I just say to anyone who is out there, who is on the fence and considering whether they should come on board, this is the time to do it. Don't wait. It's time, and you should seize this opportunity to be a part of an excellent program.
Thank you. Shamroy Roberts.
If you are thinking about pursuing a degree in tourism and hospitality management, go for it. If you need further clarification, contact your local UE Open Campus site or send an email to the program manager to get further details. Go for the degree in tourism and hospitality management. There are endless opportunities and careers that comes with a degree in tourism and hospitality management. And I look forward to welcoming some of you who are tuning in right now to the program next year. Or soon, sometime in August or September, sorry.
All right, there you go. Those are the words of Shamroy Roberts. We thank you so much, and Violet Wellington Finley, who is a program manager for our BSc Hospitality and Tourism and Hospitality Management. Thank you so much for joining us, for making this program a success in social media on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and for all your comments and queries. We were not able to discuss all of them, but we certainly have noted them in the chat. Also want to say a special thank you to my technical team, David Foster, Patrick Johnson, Cherise Glasgow, and all of the others who are handling the technical matters as well as sending your questions and queries to me so that we can address them. It was a pleasure moderating this program here for you this afternoon. Until next time, I am Cleveland Sam. Goodbye.
Bye.